Flip, 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 Flip Weekly.
Hey, what's going on? This is Matt here from flipweekly.com. You're listening to the Flip Weekly podcast. This is a podcast all about reselling. We go to thrift stores, we go to Facebook Marketplace, we go to op shops, garage sales, man, you name it. We try to find some items that we can buy low, sell high. That's the name of the game. Welcome if you're a new listener for 2026. This is really the first podcast of the year. You would have seen, or you would have heard, that last week we had, what did we do last week, man? We did top 10 flips of 2025. We finished that year on a high. We really did. The average sale price had skyrocketed. We had sales that were in the thousands of dollars. Like, it's just incredible. And I just think that this year, you know, we're in for a big year. I think we're going to have an even better year. I don't know how we're going to top $115 average sale price. That's going to be back in the back of my mind every time I buy something now, that we're going to, you know, try to increase that average sale price. But look, I'm keen for this year. I really am. And I think that this sort of reselling journey is going to get better. I think that Flip Weekly, the podcast and the newsletter, is going to, I mean, something's going to have to give, in the sense of, I don't know if this is going to be viable to do long term. You know, I was thinking earlier this week about, look, we've just hit 100 issues on the Flip Weekly newsletter. That means for the past 100 weeks, a newsletter has gone out, which is averaging around 3,000 words. And that's a lot to write. You know, that's a lot to write. This isn't my full-time gig. This is a side hustle. You combine the trips to the thrift, the trips out on Facebook Marketplace, the garage sales on a Saturday, if there's, you know, any on, the writing, the podcast, the editing. It is a lot, considering, you know, I also have a company that I'm running on the side. I mean, it's not on the side, but, you know, as well. And I also have other goals for the year. I have other goals for, you know, my life. I don't want to be spending the next, you know, 100 weeks on something that isn't going to amount to anything. So I think there's some decisions that have to be made. How that looks, I'm not too sure, but look, as long as people keep, you know, listening to the newsletter, or listening to the podcast, reading the newsletter, I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I possibly can. And, you know, I enjoy going out to the thrift stores and finding cool items. You know, if you've never listened to this before, when I go out, I try not to buy your everyday sort of thing. I don't want to be picking up just a regular t-shirt for $5 that you can sell for $30. I want to be finding just really unique, interesting shit. Usually things that, you know, you jump onto eBay and there's no active listings, or there's none within the country. They're the type of things that I want to be buying. And for the past week, and for the past, I guess, 2 to 3 weeks, because I'll be talking about some items that I bought and that I sold from, you know, the time where I was, you know, sort of on break for Christmas and New Year, and we just had the podcasts that were evergreen type of content. Not that it was really a break, because we still had to record and edit, but there's items in there that do fit that category of very rare, very hard to find. We have an item that sold this week, or sold last week, that is another powerhouse collection item, meaning it had been cataloged within a fucking, like, museum catalog that has some sort of significance in Australian culture. You know, we've had that before for like 2 or 3 items, including, you know, old 1900s board games. I think there was some war board game that I picked up in a Lifeline for like $5, and it sold instantly for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But just items that have been cataloged because they need to be cataloged, because they're just so fucking rare and they have shit to do with this country. So we have some of those, and look, we have some finds that if they sell, they're going to be my biggest sales of all time. You know, we just had that sale last week. God, last week. It wasn't last week. These weeks have just been blending together. The days, the weeks, everything from like December 15 to January. What are we now? Like December, January, what are we? January 8th today. That just honestly merges together and you don't realize what day it is. So I completely lost my train of thought as I was looking at the calendar there, but we have a lot of sales. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, it was just before Christmas, the biggest sale of all time, which was a bunch of Sonic comic books that went out the door for like $1,600. We paid $60. I continue to receive comments on social media from people watching the video because I recorded myself finding those books. I still have comments coming in to this day just being like, this is disgraceful. Literally one today. And it was a one-word comment being like, disgraceful. People are not happy on social media that resellers like us are going into thrift stores and, God forbid, spending money on items within a thrift store. I think the argument breaks down from these people once you ask like one or two questions. You know, like this person said it's disgraceful that we bought these books. And it's like, well, this is the price that Vinny's put the books for sale at. I went in there and I paid what Vinny's asked for. That money is going to go towards all of these social enterprises that Vinny's is undertaking, all these social programs, their homelessness program, their domestic violence program, all that sort of shit. So what are they actually advocating for? To not give the thrift store money that then goes to other programs, you know, to help people out? No, they're just saying it's disgraceful that I guess you're making money from it. But look, whether or not you make money from an item that you buy from a thrift store is irrelevant. It really is. It doesn't matter what you do with it. On the other hand, if people go in and they buy, I don't know, an outfit to go out on a date, right? And then they meet their partner, they marry someone rich and famous, and then they divorce and they get half of their money. Are they then not profiting from a thrift store? You know, there are just so many different arguments that somebody can make, but they're all fucking shit. Yeah, let's not get into that. But yeah, some of the things that we bought this week, we can make a lot of money on. That's what I want to talk about. I want to go through some sales. 2026 goals. If you have them, let me know. Are you going to, continue thrifting? Are you going to stop? What other options are there? Are you just going to continue listening to the podcast and not thrift, not flip? Maybe your goal is to just buy more good shit. Stop buying shit. Stop buying that $15, $20 item. You just want to make some more money. Because that's all it comes down to, really. Like, you hear some people say that they do this shit because they like the circular economy of buying stuff secondhand. No, I don't give a shit about that. I really don't. All I want to do is make money. Every single thing that I do is to make money. And with that money, that's when I can decide to do something. I think there's like this saying, I can't remember who said it, that was like first you make money. No, I'm going to butcher this, but the basic premise is that if you want to help out, first you need to make it, make it in terms of being successful, whatever your goal is, like being financially free. And then once you get to that point, then you can start helping people out. Yeah, I can't remember what it was like. First you build it, then you make it, then you matter. Something like that. I've always thought about that. Not that I wouldn't do anything right now in terms of helping people out. I've done it before. Yeah, I don't know. I think this whole circular economy that some resellers talk about is sort of maybe you're full of shit because really you're doing it for the money, right? To keep a roof over your head. That's why I think most people do this. Most people don't, learn about these bolos, the things that you should be buying and selling because they want to help out their environment. I really don't think so. Or giving old things new homes. Maybe I'm just projecting, Maybe people do that and I'm just a very, money-focused person. But look, I think we should get into what I bought for this week. We have a lot to get through, so I should stop yapping because we're off with a bang. We really are. This first item that I picked up was from Facebook Marketplace, and if it sells, biggest flip of all time, 100%. More than the Sonic books, more than whatever was number 2 on my top 10 flips. It's going to be big. And it's for something that you wouldn't really expect to be worth that much money. Or I guess, if you're subscribed to Flip Weekly, then you should know that it's going to be worth a bit of money because we've bought and sold similar sort of things before. What this is, it's a 2-in-1 TV. Now, it's not a flat screen. It's not an LCD, LED, giant 85-inch. This is like a 16-inch CRT TV. You know those old bulky TVs with the giant backs on them? This has a built-in DVD player. And you might think, okay, a TV with a DVD player built into it, it's not worth that much. No, it's not. You can get them on eBay for a couple of $100s. But what makes this one valuable is that it's Disney themed. Not just Disney, it's Hannah Montana themed. Now this thing is really fucking cool. It's all purple. It has like these music icons as like the volume up, volume down. It's like a guitar button to like go to the menu. What are those? I think they're not treble clefs, just like a music note that does like on one of the little, the circles on a music note. One of them like takes you back, the other one takes you forward. Just really, really cool built-in DVD player with all those buttons, plus Hannah Montana branding on the side of it. This thing I got on Facebook Marketplace for $40. The dude was getting inundated with messages. He couldn't believe it when I rocked up. I drove out there. This guy had like all this junk in his front yard. And he said this was just sitting around collecting dust. And he was just surprised that he was getting so many messages about it. And I was like, yeah, man, like these things don't come up too often. They don't make them like this anymore. And it's highly sought after today. And he showed me his phone, and of course, yes, his phone was blowing up. And like any good Facebook Marketplace deal, I told this guy when I secured it via text, via Messenger, I said, please mark it as pending for me. So he did. And people were messaging even after he had marked it as pending. He honestly couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe it when I got out there that I was able to get it, because This is a TV that's worth a lot of money. Now, before I talk about the price, I tested this thing out. It didn't come with the remote, which was a bit of a bummer because the remote is also themed. But when you turn this on and you go to like the DVD functionality, without anything in the DVD player, without anything like inside, this thing has like a screensaver that's Hannah Montana. You know the old screensaver of like the DVD logo going from one corner of the screen to the other, and it just goes back and forth. It's sort of like that, but for Hannah Montana theme. So you could put this in a baby's room or a games room or, a girl's room, whatever. Keep it on that 24/7. You'd probably burn the screen out, but you could do that and it would be like a good display piece. So I get it home. I do all the testing. Everything works. It's fine. The comps for this, man, you're not going to believe me. You're honestly not going to believe me because it's insane. There's one active listing that I can see, and I can see one sold listing. I'm really hesitant to tell you the price, or I'm sort of like, I don't know which one I should tell you first. So with one active and one sold, we have a good sell-through rate there. The sold listing was for $1,942. So just under $2,000 for this Disney Hannah Montana, it's 13-inch CRT TV, built-in DVD player. The current active listing is with 17 people watching it, just over $2,000 at $2,091. Now, that is fucking insane, right? It's just a television with a built-in DVD player. I don't know who is paying that much money. When you're in sales, I guess you try and think about who your customer is. Who the fuck has $2,000 to spend on this old school television? What's the benefit of buying this for your kid? It just has Hannah Montana, like the logo on the side. I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong. Is it $2,000 cool? I don't think so. And I mean, not when you can buy other CRT TV. I mean, this is just me coming across as a dude now, because I'm about to say this Hannah Montana themed TV is not cool. What is cool is the other themed CRT TVs, and I'll go through them in a second because they're also really fucking cool. What Disney did, or what these companies did with these old school bulky televisions, is they themed them for specific shows or movies, sold them for a decent price. I think the guy told me he paid $200 for this Hannah Montana TV back in the day, but the sales weren't good for any of these. They really only had a short life, and I think that's because technology evolved so quickly. The DVD also became obsolete eventually, once Blu-ray came out and then once streaming came out. So they got discarded, they got thrown out. They just, they just had a life that ended really, really fucking quick. So nowadays, when things are slowly going backwards, it's not the right way to say it. Things are going backwards though, right? How fucked up is the world? But things are going backwards in the sense that people want the nostalgia. Maybe nostalgia. Yeah, that was the right word. Nostalgia. People want the nostalgia. People want these old school televisions. I see on social media all the time people doing like VHS tapes and players in their kids' room now. They don't want them on their iPads. There's just like, tech at one point in time was like, yes, give your kids iPads. It distracts them. And now it's just like, no, don't give your kids iPads because it fucking ruins their brain. I don't know why VHS and TV is different. Maybe they don't make the fucking brain rot content. Oh, they probably did though, right? Like the 90s and the early 2000s, they would have had brain rot content. Maybe it's different. Fucked if I know. But they made so many of these CRT TVs and they're so fucking cool. Like I'm looking at one right now. This is Shrek themed. It's all green. It has the ogre ears on the side, the Shrek logo in the middle. That fucking TV has multiple sold comps, all like brand new in the box. I don't know, someone must have come across like a pallet of these. They're selling for like $10,000. This Shrek TV is fucking nuts. All the buttons are like Shrek themed too. So the Shrek one, I think, is like the holy grail for CRT TV collectors. It's probably the most well-known and it just looks amazing. If I had 10 grand to spend on a television, maybe I would buy it. I probably fucking wouldn't, but 10 grand for this fucking TV. If you go onto eBay and just search for Shrek CRT TV, you'll be able to see it. There's a couple more. There's one that I think my niece would be a Winnie the Pooh TV. It has like a 3D printed Winnie on top of the TV sort of laying down with his hands over it. That looks really fucking cool. There's a Spider-Man one, Spider-Man themed, of course. There's a Bratz one. There's Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a Cars, Lightning McQueen, I think his name is. They just go on and on. A lot of Disney stuff, and they're just so rare. I've never seen one out in the wild in terms of like a thrift store. Never seen them in a thrift store. I've never seen them at a garage sale. I've bought a CRT TV from a garage sale before. I think I paid $5 and it sold for like $300-400. So you need to be buying these CRT TVs. This is the thing, if they're small enough to ship. Remember that Australia Post has a maximum width and a maximum weight for items. This is only if you're within Australia. If you're anywhere else, all these comps are going to be completely different. But yeah, I think Australia Post, the maximum weight is like 15 kilos and the maximum length is like 1.5 meters. Is it 1.5 meters? Don't quote me on that. It's about that. So whenever you see a CRT TV, don't buy one of those fucking massive ones that could crush you if you're laying down on the ground that falls on top of you. You want ones that are basically portable. So I saw this one and I was like, okay, it's small enough that it can fit inside of a decent sized box. And, that's why I bought it. I wouldn't have got it if it was any bigger, because I think it weighs about 10 kilos. So once we add on the box, packaging materials, it's going to be up there 12-13 kilos. I don't want to be shipping anything that's worth more than 15 kilos because then you have to go into freight. And I don't know, I've never done that before. I don't know how the fuck I would do it. I think, what do? You contact a courier company. What do you do with your eBay listing? Do you just put up like contact me for freight, then they give you that information and you ship it out, or you get a quote? No fucking idea. I don't even want to deal with that. I don't want to be shipping something that's over 15 kilos. How the fuck would you get it to the post office? If your post office is within a shopping center, fucking hell, this is just like, put it in the too hard basket, man. I'm not going to deal with that. So yeah, there's so many of these CRT TVs. They're so fucking cool. And yeah, if I sell this Hannah Montana one, I listed it up for $1,999.95, and the buyer would have to pay for shipping. Man, if that sells, if I get that ka-ching and it sells for $2,000, 40 into 2,000, that beats Sonic. Sonic was 60 into 1600, 40 into $2,000, man. That we're literally 8 days into 2025, and we may have the find of the year. I hope not. I want to sell something for more than $2,000, but we could be find of the fucking year already, meaning it's all downhill from here, or it's more uphill from here, which is what the saying should be, right? Because it's hard to go uphill. So yeah, we had that, and you know, that's old technology. And when you speak of old technology, this next item, another Facebook Marketplace pickup, is also old technology, but it sells for so much fucking money, and it's basically the same as the TV. This thing is themed. I posted about it on social media, so if you follow Flip Weekly on Instagram, you would have seen it. This is a Hello Kitty DVD player, which comes with the matching remote control. Both of these are bright pink. They have Hello Kitty logo and insignia all over it. It's all, you know, it's all bright pink and would probably look great in some collector's or some little girl's room. I found it on Marketplace for $100. It had just been posted maybe half an hour before I went onto it. This exact same person had posted a pink PlayStation 2. I wanted that because, you know, the one that I sold is coming back to me because it apparently doesn't work. And I was like, fuck, if I can buy this pink PlayStation 2 for $100, I can just switch them out providing it works and resell that box PS2 for $550. It wasn't available, and then I saw she had this. So this person must have been going through like a pink phase. They had the pink PS2, this hot pink Hello Kitty DVD player. So I was like, well, is a DVD player available? Posted pretty much the exact same time as a PS2, and she was like, yeah, it is. And I was thinking like, well, that's a surprise because I just looked up comps and this DVD player sells for more than that pink PlayStation 2. So we have those video game bros picking up the pink PS2 on Marketplace for $100 when they'll probably maybe double their money, maybe get a tiny bit more. Yet this Hello Kitty DVD player for $100 has sold comps, recent ones too, multiple in December, of over $400. The highest one was $425.67. And it wasn't just one, man. We have no active listings. 0 active listings, yet 6 have been sold. That means that people want this fucking thing. So with no active listings, me being the only one with this fucking thing, I'm like, well, I'm not going to ask for $425. I'm going to be greedy. I'm not going to even ask for $525. I'm going to go even higher. Let's add on my Australia tax. Let's add on my exclusivity tax. Let's fucking reach for the stars and aim for $600. So I've listed this up for $600 motherfucking dollars. $600 for a DVD player. I'm saying to my buddy, who the fuck is going to be buying this? It's $600 for a DVD player. I mean, I can repeat myself. $600 for a DVD player. What a waste of money. You know, my friend was saying to me, like, I'm so glad, this is what my friend said, I'm so glad that I'm not a collector. Because when you have to spend this much money on shit, $600, man, that's like a week's worth of rent. You know, that's like a mortgage payment. Those lucky enough to have homes. It's insane, man. So it's listed up for $600. And we have a theme here. We have a theme of, themed old technology equals big money. If we add both of those together, I spent $140 on the TV and the DVD player. And if both of them sell, that's like $2,600 on old tech. Yeah, imagine somebody asking you, you know, what did you sell this week? You said, I sold a DVD player and a TV. How much for? Man, fucking $3,000, almost $3,000. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable how much this shit sells for. So if you see anything like that come up on Marketplace, or if you're out at a garage sale, pick this shit up. You're going to be surprised. Now, I can't talk about, you know, the quality of this shit. I mean, the DVD player, it felt high quality. It really did. It honestly looks like a Wii, like a Nintendo Wii. It has the base on it. It stands up like a Wii. So it feels quite firm, but maybe they just work. Maybe they were just high quality and they just continue to work. So, I mean, I was just thinking about the odds of buying one of them still working. I don't know, but I mean, it feels like it's well made. Same with the TV. It's Disney. I don't know if Disney's going to be making shitty products. I don't really buy Disney stuff, brand new stuff, so I can't comment on that. I'm sure it's all fucking sweatshop China though, right? Maybe like one of the better sweatshops. Is that a thing? It doesn't sound like a thing. So yeah, a TV and a DVD player to start the year. Fucking hell. What the fuck are we selling? TV and DVD players? Fucking Harvey Norman over here. Man. So look, we had that Hello Kitty DVD player, and speaking of Hello Kitty, I found something else Hello Kitty. Man, sort of impression do people get when I'm selling? I'm selling Bratz dolls, I'm selling Polly Pockets, I'm selling Hannah Montana, Hello Kitty. Man, give me some, I don't know, give me some fucking like camouflage hunting gear. Give me, I don't know, what else is considered manly? Give me a fucking Andrew Tate book. So Andrew Tate wrote a book. I highly doubt he's wrote a fucking book, right? So I don't know if he still has a brain after that fight, if anyone saw that fight. So yeah, we found a Hello Kitty item in the thrift store. We found it's called a home planetarium. All the box was in Japanese, so I couldn't really understand what the fuck it was. It was still within its box. I could see a 2001 copyright year on it, and it looks like just a dome. That's what looks inside the box. It's just like a dome. I could open it up and I could see that there was like a little light bulb inside of it. So this home planetarium thing, picture like a nightlight or one of those starry projectors that you've probably seen on social media. You turn it on, it projects something onto the roof of your house. It's essentially that, except it's, 2001. How long? 25 years ago? 25 years ago? Fuck me. 25 years ago, 2001 was. Man, that's when the iPod came out. Fuck, yeah, I found this Hello Kitty thing. It was $3. When I realized, like, Hello Kitty stuff goes crazy. People still into Hello Kitty in this year, 2026. People still love Hello Kitty. I bought it. I checked it out online. It was a Japan exclusive. Wasn't available anywhere else, just sold in Japan. I couldn't find any comps on it at all. So I listed on eBay for $150 and on Marketplace for $100. And that, I think, is the sweet spot, because on Marketplace right now, 270 clicks, 28 saves. I think it's going to sell for $100. So that's going to be a good 3 into 100 or 150, depending which platform it goes on. If you want to see what the nightlight thing, what the projector Starry Night thing looks like, go onto the Flip Weekly newsletter. I have a couple of photos there that you can see. It's basically, I don't know if this is Hello Kitty lore, like Lore, but it's a constellation of Hello Kitty. I don't know if like Hello Kitty maybe lives or like is a fucking space alien based on this shit that I'm seeing. Like, I don't know why Hello Kitty needs constellations. What does that even mean? Some astrology bullshit, but and it projects that onto the I guess the walls and the roof, including a couple of Hello Kitty like outlines. So I guess it looks pretty cool. If you would be a Hello Kitty collector or fan, it would be something to get. Would I ever spend $100 on this? No, but that's besides the point. In terms of buying Hello Kitty in the future, if I see a Hello Kitty shirt, Hello Kitty backpack, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm not going to. That's just standard stuff. But anything weird or anything that you don't see all the time, this projector thing, the DVD player, I'll look it up at least. But yeah, nothing on the low end, no plushies. Even though I'm sure there's like a plushie that sells for hundreds of dollars. No idea, but I'm sure there is. Yeah, focus on that more unique stuff, the rarer stuff that you don't see all the time. That's at least what I'll be doing. Now, moving forward, we're going to jump over to Savers. And this is what happened. I was at my sister's place. I was at Sam's place on Friday. Went there to just catch up after Christmas and New Year, because I didn't get to see her on Christmas Day or New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Spent the Friday night there, came home on the Saturday. She lives... Fuck, I should not start that by saying she lives. On the way home, there was a Savers on the way, which is Savers Hoxton Park. Now, you'll be familiar that Savers has 5 fucking Sydney locations. What are they? What are they, Matt? Can you name them? Yes. Hoxton Park, Camperdown. What are they? Auburn. Not Marsfield. what's that, M1, doesn't matter, and Surrey Hills. Is that right? I don't know. You hear it enough times over the fucking speaker, but I just don't pay attention to that. But so there's one at Hoxton Park, and I'm never that way. You know, it's like an hour from my place in Sydney City. So I was like, let's stop in there. I wouldn't usually, because it's a Saturday, and that's when everyone that I don't like that thrifts is out in the thrift store. And Hoxton Park I've never really had much luck at. That was really the only one I went to before they started coming, you know, closer to the city. And my interpretation or my impression of Savers was that they were too good at their jobs. But this week, man, somebody fucking dropped the ball. They really did, because what I found is something that is going to sell for a lot of money. I actually found a bundle of these things. What I found, you know, I struck out at every single section until I got to the book section. And then I found one book in the fiction section called Sons of the Forge. What stood out to me about this book in the spine was it said the Horus Heresy. Now, the Horus Heresy is a part of a Warhammer series, and these Warhammer books are now out of print. We've sold them before, and they sell for so much fucking money. Now, sometimes in Savers, you can find Warhammer stuff, but then you look at the back, and they've priced it up, you know, $30-40, and you can't make any money on. I looked at the price tag for this book, $5.49. And, you know, my eyes just lit up, fucking ka-ching, ka-ching. Because what happens when you find one Warhammer book? There's going to be more, because nobody just has one Warhammer book. It doesn't work like that. So then I realized that, you know, my goal or my task for the next however long was to look through all of the fiction books to see what other Warhammer or best case scenario Horus Heresy books there are. And again, flipweekly.com, look at the newsletter to see the photos of this. I looked through all of the fiction books, all the spines. I walked away with another, 4? I think I had 5 in total. Now look, this first book that I found for $5.49, so just say $5, it sells every day on eBay for at least $100. Now, there were no active listings for this book below $200. The supply was it was so low that people did what I would usually do, is when supply is low, is just price up. So I listed this one up for $200, and mine is the lowest active listing. So we go through these books, man. I pull out 4 other ones besides that one, and they're all fucking bangers. There is another Horus Heresy called the Crimson King. Those sold comps, I'm looking at them right now, $287, $271, $238. The sell-through rate's insane. I've already had somebody say, can I come pick it up on Friday for $200? And I was like, yeah, if it's still available, blah, blah, blah. And that was the exact same price, $5.50. So that will be a $5 book into $200. Somebody has dropped the ball, because it is so rare to find these books in thrift stores, especially when it's not just the one, when there's multiple. So then I keep looking throughout the thrift store. I pick up 2 more books. That's really all that I bought from this Savers. It was a Animal Crossing game guide, like a video game guide. Always buying the video game guides. That was $3.50. There was another one called The Adventures of Herge, who is the creator of Tintin. That was $3.50, and always be buying your Tintin. Your Tintin stuff just goes crazy. It's really popular, and the supply is low. So I walked out of Savers having spent $35, and my total listed value was $1,040. Now, these aren't, you know, just books that are going to be sitting around for ages not selling. You know, people go out and they find, like, you know, fucking encyclopedias, and they quote like one sold listing of, you know, crazy money, and then it just never sells for that again. You know, so this isn't like that. All of these books are in high demand, and they will sell for these prices. So, man, I was so happy about that. I had to go back and get a basket. That's how fucking good the deal was, because I never have a fucking basket in a thrift store. It never happens, because there's just never that much good shit. Had to go get it, and it was heavy too. So, fuck, man, that was a good day. Good day at Savers there. And I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they're books. They're not that exciting, but man, if you find this, you're going to make good money. The Horus Heresy. So I get home, list them all up, and then the day goes by and I'm scrolling Facebook Marketplace, as you do when there's nothing else to do, Facebook Marketplace, and I see this listing for Pokemon games. And man, I'm a sucker for Pokemon games just because they're so nostalgic and they look cool. And man, it's Pokemon. They sell quickly and they sell for a lot of money. So I saw this listing on Marketplace for Pokemon DS, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance games. Now, the guy had taken a photo of, the entire collection, and in the description, he had written out the individual prices for the games. And to me, that is usually like, well, this guy's a reseller, or he knows what they're worth. We can't get a good deal on them. Not like that deal that we got a couple of weeks back where we got Nintendo 64 games for $5 each, which included a Pokemon Stadium 2 game, which is $200. It's not like that. This guy individually listed out the price. So I was looking at these games and their prices. Again, you need to work fast when you're wanting to secure like a video game bundle on Marketplace. You got to be really, really quick. So I'm looking at the list and I can see that he's listed, there's probably 15 games there. He's listed Pokemon White version 2, just a random Pokemon game, for $100. Now, this is the same game that me and Sam found in a garage sale for I think we paid $10, and we sold it for $180 on eBay. So I see that he's got it listed for $100. It's worth $180, almost $200. What is his pricing strategy? Maybe he isn't exactly pricing them up like eBay. Maybe he's doing eBay minus a bit, trying for a quick sale. So I think maybe we can get a good deal here. So I add all of the games up and it adds up to $770, something like that. That's what he's asking for. And knowing that we have room to spare, I'm like, well, if I can get that down from $770, then there's even more money to be made. It might be worth doing it. So I sent him a message. I'm like, are you open to a bulk deal? And he's like, yeah, sure. What's your offer? Cash only. So I told him, I'll give you $500 for everything. And then he waited a bit, a couple of minutes passed, and he's up, yup, I'm happy with them. I'm happy with that. When are you able to collect? And obviously, I'm like, I'll come out right now. Market is pending for me, blah, blah, blah. And then I do what everyone should do when you're getting a deal of this magnitude. You say, well, what else have you got? Have you got any of the original consoles? Any more games? He says to me that he has a PS Vita, which is a handheld PlayStation console. He has a 3DS XL and a 3DS. I'm like, oh, okay, now we're talking. Let's negotiate. What do you want for it? So he takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and I start to get ready, and he comes back and he says, I'll quote him. He says, the PS Vita never used and comes with a charger. I see they're around $350 to $300 online, so happy to go with $300. The 3DS XL, happy to go with $300 as well. So now we know what his pricing strategy was. He's essentially looking them up online and then giving a discount, I guess, because it's Facebook Marketplace. So that is what he's done for the Pokemon games. That's what he's doing here. Now, look, I'm not going to buy a PS Vita for $300 if they sell for $350. There's just no room there. When you account for fees, postage, petrol, fucking your time, if you factor that in, everything, I'm not going to do it. So what I said to him, after having a think about it, this is what I thought. This is my mindset. I said, okay, here's what I said. No. Here's what I thought. Sorry, my fucking brain. First week of January. My thought process was, if I can add on this money to the already $500 deal, it's going to sound like a lot. So I thought, I'm going to offer him $150 each for these consoles. That gives me plenty of profit margin. And then, if it's $300 for both of them, that's $800 in total that I'm going to be saying. So that's what I did. I said, I'll quote myself. I said, thanks for that, mate. A bit too pricey for me, unfortunately. If you want a quick sale, I could do $150 each. So that would bring the total up to $800. Otherwise, I'm sweet with just the games. He takes a moment and he says, yeah, I'm fine with $800 cash. So look, I think having been presented with $800, he is like, well, I'm just going to do that. I can get that money today. So he sold me the 3DS XL and the PS Vita for 150 each, and he threw in a 3DS for free. The 3DS XL, man, you can sell them on eBay. I think I listed it up for like $450, which is like $300 profit. I mean, a bit less after fees. I already sold it, just to spoiler alert. I sold it for $380 on Marketplace, so I paid $150 for it. So there's plenty of fucking profit there. I will tell you though, I asked this guy multiple times if, he would accept transfer, pay ID, because $800 cash. You know how ATMs are nowadays? If you go to one you're not familiar with, it will be like, oh, max is $200, or like you can only withdraw like, I don't know, one time in 24 hours. They're fucking weird now, and I don't know where there's like a bank. I don't know where my bank is around me. I honestly don't think I've stepped foot in a bank in like 15 years. So I didn't know like if I was going to, how I was going to withdraw $800 cash. Like, it sounds like, man, that's not a big problem, but I'm thinking like, I think I'm going to have to do like multiple trips to different ATMs in order to get this money up. So I figured that fucking problem out. I go out, I meet up with him at a McDonald's of all places. And I go in afterwards. I'm like, fuck, I could go with I haven't stepped foot in a McDonald's for a while too. I'm like, fuck, I could go with thick shake. I go in there, not kidding, use their little tablet things that they have, and none of their thick shake machines are working. So anyway, doesn't matter. So I get home, we have everything. We have so much fucking value. The 3DS that he threw in for free, it actually isn't working. I've tried to charge it, doesn't work. I'm thinking though, if I buy a new battery for this, it might work. And I've done this with handheld consoles before. People think it's broken, it's not working, but it just needs a new battery. And I've seen online 3DS batteries you can get for like 10 to 15 bucks. So I haven't done it yet. It's in the to-do list. I'm going to buy a new battery, but everything else worked and worked perfectly. The Sony PS Vita, the 3DS XL, all of the games, all working fine. So from that $800 we spent, which to be fair was a lot of money, and I do feel a bit weird about it as well, just because I don't want to be telling you like, oh, this is how you make money. You go out and you spend $800 fucking dollars. Like, it's so much fucking money. We want to be buying things for $1, selling it for $100. That's what anyone can do, right? But I'm just including this because it's just such a cool find, and I was glad that I was able to get it, and we're going to make money from it too. So we spent $800 total, and the total listed value is just over $2,800. 8 into, let's just say $3,000. It's a good deal. We're going to make, what's that after eBay fees and shit? Maybe like $1,500? Yeah, maybe about $1,500. And look, it's Pokemon. It's Pokemon, it's Nintendo Game Boy. This shit sells quickly. Multiple have already sold. I think I've probably made my money back already from this deal. Or maybe a bit less just because of eBay fees. We've had so much of this sell already. So look, that was good. That was a good fucking find on Facebook Marketplace. I think between when everybody stopped working, I mean, I guess salary employees stopped working at the end of December, to maybe this weekend, last weekend, has been sort of like the weekend on Marketplace, but every single day. You know, Marketplace is a goldmine on Saturdays and Sundays. For the past maybe 2 weeks, it's been a goldmine every single day. So these are just like the coolest things that I've bought from Facebook Marketplace. So look, there's a couple other finds that I got this week, including from thrift stores. We got a board game that's 10 into at least 150. We have a cool little DVD that was 3 into 70. What else do we have? We have a Sega World Sydney thing that I picked up for $50. It's going to go on to sell for about $200. If you want to check those out, go to flipweekly.com. They're all such cool finds, and I wish I could talk about them more, but we really need to get into what I sold so we don't drag this on all fucking day. All right, let's get into some sales. Here we go. We're starting off 2026 on the exact same day, the very first sale. That was 2 for 2026. What do you know? It was a Bratz and a fucking Polly Pocket. This was a category that I had so much luck in 2025. You remember I found a tub of Bratz on Facebook Marketplace for $20 for everything. I parted them out, and there was insane value, thousands of dollars worth of Bratz, including one set that was worth $1,000. Still hasn't sold, but this one that sold was for $115. It's called Bratz Rock Angels, and it's the Yasmin character. She came with a whole bunch of accessories. The person asked me if I would accept $115. It was up for $150, and I mean, I paid $20 for like 10, 15 different dolls, so of course I'm going to accept $115. And that was the sale that also came with a Polly Pocket. So somebody bought the Polly Pocket Polly's Wonderful Wedding Party. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this. This was one of the Polly Pockets that I thought was going to sell first because it came with 5 of the original dolls, I guess the wedding gown, the tiara, a horse, and the Polly Pocket also played music. It played like the wedding march. It still worked even though it's from 1994. I thought it was going to sell first, and yeah, this is out the door for $190. I continue to sell fucking Polly Pockets. I'm going to keep buying them if people are giving them away for like fucking pennies on the dollar. I've told you so many times I want other people to be buying them. I want to hear about your success buying these fucking collections, not mine. I've bought, I think, 3 collections so far. I don't want to buy any more, man. I really don't. Anyway, let's move on. The next one was a Nintendo 64 game, Duke Nukem. Paid $5 for this thing. It's out the door for $69.95. I didn't get a chance to play this fucking game. It was Duke Nukem 64 is what it was called. I grew up with this game, or I grew up with a similar version of this game. See, my dad had a Nintendo 64. It wasn't like the regular family 64 where everyone played Mario, Super Mario, anything like that. No, this was my dad's. You can sort of see the dynamic in play. He only played these sort of games, and so I grew up, I guess, playing Duke Nukem, Conker's Bad Fur Day. No Mario games, not a single Mario game, not even Mario Kart. I played these fucking games. So Duke Nukem, I don't know, had a special place in my heart in the sense that not really. I'm familiar with it, I guess. I played it. It was fun. I don't remember too much about it besides, the trip mines and Duke Nukem's catchphrases. But yeah, that's out the door for $70. I paid $5 for it. After that, we have a book. We have the Blood Angels Omnibus, which is just another Warhammer book. I paid $5 for it. Sold for $80. Always be looking out for the omnibuses for basically anything, right? Except for well-known authors. They may not be worth that much because, as you can imagine, the supply is high, then the demand might not be as high anymore. But yeah, this sold for $80, man. It was just a paperback book in pretty poor condition, to be honest. And speaking of books that are in poor condition, this next one, man, I sort of pat myself on the back for, I think, remembering this. I didn't find this out myself. This is from watching and consuming so much reseller content. I can't remember who. I'm so sorry. Somebody talked about Stephen King's The Barkman books. This is a collection of books from Stephen King that I don't know if they're all out of print now, or I know that one is. This is just a collection of Stephen King books in the one paperback book. I found it at a garage sale, and it was within a whole bundle of Stephen King books. He had a price on all of them, so like you had to buy them all. I just asked him, can I get an individual book? And he was like, yeah, which one? I said, this one. There's a paperback, the Barkman books. He's like, yep, $2. I paid $2. It is sold for $150, man, and it was in pretty beat up condition, to be honest. It's from 1987. This thing's fucking older than I am. It is in really bad condition, yet somebody paid $150. And look, you can buy Stephen King first edition books of most of his books, and they're not worth that much money, even in hardcover. This was paperback, shit condition, $150. This is probably the only one I'm going to be buying of Stephen King. Actually, no, I think I said on the podcast that from now on I'm going to be focusing on one specific book of Stephen King's, and it's called Rage. If you can find Stephen King Rage, you're going to make thousands of dollars. I think like $3,000-$4,000, just because it's no longer being published. It wasn't published for very long. It's about a school shooting, and Stephen King obviously told his publisher, I don't want this published. It was before, I guess, school shootings were so fucking predominant in the US. So if you can find Rage, man, make a ton of money. Now we had another sales, a couple PlayStation games sold for $80. It's Croc 1 and 2. These PlayStation 1 games were bought when I was invited inside on a marketplace deal. I wouldn't go inside a marketplace house anymore just because it's been drilled into me that you may not make it out. But yeah, I think I paid $10 for these and they sold for $80. Now, we're just going to run through these, man, because there's so fucking many sales. I sold this, man, it's a Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle movie. It's not a prop, but it's like this limited edition flask that I think were given out to influencers when the movie first came out. I found it in a Vinnie's for $4. It's sold for $80, and literally all it is like this plastic flask with a flask jacket on it with the Jumanji logo. I'm surprised people are buying this shit, but man, $4 into $80. This is, I think, when influencers get invited to the movies, and I've been able to score some shit like this in thrift stores before. They get given like swag bags, and because those people aren't there to really watch the movie, they don't give a fuck about the movie. They're just there to post about it on social media, brag about being invited to go see Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, walk the fucking green carpet. They don't care, so they just donate this shit or they give it away, whatever, and it ends up in Vinnie's. So that's what happened here. $4, $80. Yeah, you can't usually, but you can find this in thrift stores. I found Dungeons and Dragons swag pack before, and that sold for a lot of money. I have a video of that on social media if you want to go watch it. But the next deal was found on Facebook Marketplace. It was over the holiday period. I paid $35 for seasons 1 to 12 of The Simpsons. I've never bought and sold The Simpsons before, but when I saw 12 seasons for $35, like, I just knew it was going to be worth more than that. I drove out there, picked it up, and turns out 1 to 12 is worth about $200. It had comps between $250 and $300, but I thought, let's get this out fast, listed for $200. I'm only dealing with a $35 purchase price, so this is why it's sold in 5 days. So $35 into $200 for The Simpsons. You can try and collect The Simpsons seasons and, you know, get up to whatever the fuck they're up to right now. But I mean, if you add them up and you start paying, I guess, like $5 a season, I don't know how much money you're actually going to be able to make. I mean, I guess that sort of works out. Like, this is 12 seasons. If you pay $5 a season, that's $60. Sell it for $200. It sort of works out, but you don't want to be paying that. You just look out for these marketplace deals, just like this, $35 into $200. Now, the next, we have a whole bunch of Pokemon sales from this Pokemon bundle that I got. Pokemon Black out the door for $100. Now, I had an issue with that today. The guy sends me a message on eBay saying it's not working. It was literally just that. It's not working. It arrived today. It's not working. And so I did the whole fucking, you got to check it out, make sure that you insert it properly, blah, blah, blah. I sent through that message, and not a few moments later, I get a return request for this thing. And I was so close to sending a message being like, you're not even going to try and continue testing it. When I sent him that message, I was like, can you tell me a bit more about your console? Like, which one are you using? Normal DS, DSi, whatever the fuck. And yeah, he just sent through the refund request, and I just sat on it for a bit. And then I think like 4 minutes later, I get an email saying the return request was closed. He sends me a message saying, I've just tried it out a bit more and it's worked. I'm just thinking like, dude, some people have no fucking patience when it comes to this stuff. Like, they try it once, they insert a game that is how old is this fucking thing? It doesn't work first time. They're like, oh, it doesn't work. I want a refund. This dude just needed to like put it in a few more times and it would have worked. So yeah, that sold for $100. I'm glad I didn't have to fucking refund this guy, man. And that's the thing also with these old games, Pokemon, Nintendo, the amount of times you insert a Nintendo 64 cartridge, for example, into a console, it never really works the first time. You have to like jiggle it around, try it once or twice. I mean, that's the fucking meme, right? You blow into this fucking thing and then all of a sudden it starts working. I don't know what blowing into it does, if it does anything, but people do it and it works. I just hope that for this next sale, it works. They're all being tested, but I just hope it works for them because it's gone off to Malaysia for this next one. It's Pokemon Emerald. the most popular Pokemon game that I listed up. It had the most views, the most watches, and it sold for probably the most money. It's $275. It's the green version of Pokemon for the Game Boy Advance. $275 for this Pokemon game. That's a lot of money just for a Pokemon game. And like I said, I fucking hope it works. Or I hope not so much that it works for him. I just hope that this person has some patience and they don't open a refund request within 30 seconds of, just trying it once. Because these contacts, like, they need to be, like, I don't know, pushed in, pulled out. Nothing, I don't know, fucking hell. This old technology, man. Anyway, oh man, we have so many sales. We have a jersey that's off to the UK, paid $16, sold for $100 plus postage. It's a player issue Wellington Lions rugby union jersey. We have, I don't know if you remember the Bionicle Lego set that was brand new and sealed. This was the Facebook Marketplace deal where I went out for the monster in my pocket and then all of a sudden started buying this cunt's, collection of old stuff. It was, Bionicle that I bought for $70, sold for $380. The guy that came actually told me that he buys and sells Lego, and I was thinking, well, man, this is the most amount of money that I've been able to get for it. I don't know if you're going to be able to get any more, but paid cash. That was a Facebook Marketplace deal. And then another Facebook Marketplace sale, man, somebody came over and bought seasons 1 to 13 of Red vs. Blue. This is that sort of animated show that, it's not animated because it's based on Halo, that video game Halo. People screen record, create a narrative around it. That was bought for $36 in a Lifeline, and it sold for $150 on Marketplace. So physical media is still there. Speaking of physical media, this woman has paid $80 for a Wiggles cassette tape from me. I paid $4 in a Vinnie's. She messaged me like, I'm not kidding, maybe every 2 weeks to ask if it's still available. She said that she never had the money, but then kept asking, which is fine by me, but it's maybe been going on for like the past 3 to 4 months. So she finally found the money for this cassette tape. She paid $80 for it. It's the very first Wiggles self-titled cassette from 1991, and it was actually signed by Anthony, which I think is the blue Wiggle, and he's still in the Wiggles right now. And finally, from this video game bundle that I got, the 3DS XL has sold. I think I told you that earlier. It sold for $380 on Facebook Marketplace. I paid $150 for it. So look, these are fucking crazy sales. All of that we just said, over $1,000, maybe even close to $2,000 of sales, and that's just from this week. Maybe a tiny bit more than a week, maybe 2 weeks. But yeah, that's a lot to go through. If you want to see photos, if you want to see even more sales that I didn't talk about here, go to flipweekly.com and check out the newsletter. Now, just before we go, I want to talk about 2026 goals. I asked some of you on Instagram if you could let me know what you're planning for the year, because it's important to have goals. Set your goals out and you can set out your year. Now we have some here. Chris Mutlow, more patties please. I don't know what that means. Ben Glander, make £1,000 post-tax per month getting married this year. Well, mate, congratulations. $1,000 post-tax per month. Well, £1,000, which is what in our joke of a currency, like 2,000, just over 2,000 Australian dollars post-tax. I mean, that would be what? 3,000. So make $3,000 post-tax per month. I think that's, look, man, that's definitely doable. I'm making that right now. Wait, am I? Yeah, I'm making around 4. So £1,000 post-tax per month, 100% doable. Look, you just got to dive right into it and just do it. I mean, the only way to make any money is to just start. Like, I don't know your situation, but yeah, just start doing it. Don't wait around. Don't continue listening or reading, forever putting it off. Just go out there. I mean, if you're doing it for reselling, go to the thrift store and just start finding things, or start scrolling on Facebook Marketplace. Find a good deal and you can easily make that. Jero Passon has increased my ASP, and that is also the same as Scrub Ali Ellison on Instagram, getting my average sale price above $50. Seems to be a lot of people's 2026 goals, increasing the average sale price, and it's a good one to have. You don't want to be going to the post office wasting your time for low value orders. My average sale price $115. If you can get it up there, I mean, Ali wants above $50. It's a good place to start. Just aim even higher. It seems rare enough that eBay ka-ching goes off. You get that dopamine, but there's nothing worse, at least for me, when I hear the ka-ching and I'm thinking, is it this $1,000 item? Is it something that's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars? And then I check and it's something I've completely forgotten about that I've devalued over the months just to get rid of it. And it's like $25. You're like, are you fucking serious? It honestly just ruins the mood, right? So average sale price, definitely aim high. Sofa's got buy low, sell high. Yep. L's Treasures, make lots of money. That's what we're doing this for. That is the entire name of the game, is just to make some fucking money. Hard enough out here, man. It really is. All we want to do is just make some fucking money. My 2026 goal, continue reselling, continue Flip Weekly, continue the podcast, continue the newsletter, increase my average sale price. Yes. I would love to do less work for more money, if that's a thing, if we can somehow work that out. And yeah, just continue this journey. I mean, this is technically Flip Weekly's 100th newsletter that's gone out. The podcast is obviously less than that, but 100 weeks of the Flip Weekly newsletter. Insane. Every single week for 100 weeks. The big 100. And I actually started this podcast as season 2 of the Flip Weekly podcast. I don't know what it actually means, but there's a setting when you're publishing the podcast of choosing the season number and the episode number. So I was like, fuck it, let's do season 2. So this is season 2 of Flip Weekly podcast. But look, I can't sit around all day. I have to go out and pick up a Facebook Marketplace find. It is a iPod Nano 3rd generation, 8 gigabyte. Found it for $5, and it's literally 3 minutes up the road. It's going to be, it's going to be a good resale, or I can keep it. It's I'm not too sure. I'll sell it. It's worth about $100-$150 depending on condition. But yeah, I'm going to go pick that up, and then I'm going to have to help my friend take out a mattress for the cleanup, which is not going to be fun. I'm also going to switch out my office chair. I've had this office chair with me for 15-20 years. I've had it like since I was living at home. I remember my mum paying so much money for it, and it's been with me for a while, but it's completely broken now, and it looks how I look. It's very disheveled, and it just needs to be thrown out. It needs to go to the tip. So I'll be taking that, and look, that's useless information, but I mean, somebody could probably resell it, eh? No. The hard rubbish people, you couldn't, I don't think you could fix this. Anyway, yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'll see you again next week. Thanks for tuning in to the season 2, episode 1 of the Flip Weekly podcast. I'll see you again next week.
Flip, 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 Flip Weekly.